I'm Deep Mahaman and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm here with your Liverpool Daily News updates. Three things we're going to talk about today. First is the return of Daniel Sturridge, which we knew about already, but also Divock Origi and Phil Coutinho into contention for tonight's game against West Ham in the FA Cup. The second piece of news is Jurgen Klopp obviously reacting to the ticket protest at the weekend. And the third, not Liverpool news specifically, but some massive news on the horizon for another Merseyside team, Everton Football Club. We'll start with that last. We'll come first to the news that some players are back in contention. As we know, Daniel Sturridge was on the bench, which is amazing. Jurgen Klopp in his press conference ahead of the West Ham game revealed that he was there. He'd been... That's a bit weird. But yeah, it revealed that he would have played 15-20 minutes. He had something on the line. I think he said something like an exceptional showing in training on the Friday that made them think, "Ooh, yeah, go ahead. We'll give you a little bit of a go." What he said is, additionally, Phil Coutinho and Divock Origi both back in training yesterday properly. They could well be in for a shout, but the problem, he said, is because we face the possibility of extra time and penalties, then there's no way that all three of them will be involved from the start, because all three of them will have to be substituted, and you can't afford to have three set substitutions when you could be facing 120 minutes plus penalties of football. So interesting, so much as that. And obviously I think we were discussing on the Final Word show, and I had my dad there and I had Aubrey as well, and they were both very, very downbeat about the performance at the weekend, and understandably so. But what I said at the time was, I think Liverpool are doing a lot of the right things, but we just lack that quality up front. And it's telling because Firmino is the standout attacking player that we've got. If you could add in a Sturridge and a Coutinho, or, you know, put Origi into the mix with his pace, I think we'll be a much more dangerous looking outfit. So I'm really excited to see these players back. And I think we're going to get a true barometer of where Liverpool are now. And how capable we're going to be of challenging for, maybe less so that, you know, the top four, but certainly in the cup competitions. And I think Jurgen Klopp really wants to win this. So don't be surprised to see one of those three starting and at least one of the others on the bench, I would suspect. I mean, it depends. It depends who's the furthest along genuinely in fitness, but wouldn't be surprised to see Phil Coutinho on the bench in this one, which would be absolutely delightful. I'm sure you'd agree. Let me know your thoughts on that. Would you risk them? Let me know in the comments below. The second piece of news comes from the Liverpool Echo. In fact, it dominates the pages again. FSG have been rocked into a rethink now. We talked about this yesterday on the show. The FSG have been in touch with the senior officials at the club over on Merseyside to have emergency discussions with regards to this, because I think there's a quote here from James Pearce in today's Echo saying, "Turning a blind eye simply wasn't an option in the wake of Saturday's unprecedented Anfield walkout. The sight of more than 10,000 supporters heading for the exits on 77 minutes shocked the Reds hierarchy. So did the banners, but the black flags, the Andrew chants, etc., etc. FSG didn't expect the numbers involved to be so great. They didn't expect the level of vitriol to be so high." And what's interesting is that, you know, obviously we've discussed this, and that's a great thing, and I really hope that positive steps are taken on that. What's interesting as well off the back of that is that ENA had a planned Q&A session with fans. Apparently, that's been cancelled. I mean, I think in terms of PR from the club, they've probably seen the iceberg coming and tried the best to swerve away from it. It's a bit of a shame, because in these situations, I think, you know, Ian should be facing up. He should be sitting down in front of the fans. The only thing it says to me is that that says to me that they're going to do something tangible. They're going to do, and they won't. While there's no concrete answers to give, they don't want to put him in. They don't want to put him in the fire line, because he'll get shot to bits. So hopefully, from the glass half full mentality, I think that could be a good thing for Liverpool. That when they've got something that they're happy with to present to the fans, then they'll push him into the lion's den, as it were, and let him get on with it. But very interested, if nothing else. One thing as well, again, Jurgen Klopp back after his surgery, signed himself out of hospital again, as we discussed yesterday. Good on you, Jurgen, you bad nutcase. But he's talked about. I thought he was very diplomatic in how he discussed the protest, and he's basically saying, like, you know, look, it's not a situation we want, and not to say I don't want fans to walk out. Someone's saying we don't want fans to walk out because we want them to be happy. We don't want our fans to be upset to the point where they feel that they have to stage these protests. So he's talked about the need to. He says Klopp, as it says in the Echo here, Klopp calls for compromise as he empathises with supporters' walkout, which is absolutely fantastic. Jurgen Klopp says Liverpool's owners understood the sign that was sent to them by the Anfield walkout. No, it's something that, what does he say? Klopp, we watched a rerun of the game after returning home, blah, blah, blah. Basically said there was no, the walkout didn't contribute to the capitulation. He said there were obviously problems on the pitch. But I think it's good that I think Jurgen Klopp is the kind of guy who gets this kind of situation. But as he said, he's not, I think he's still a bit new to the club to be kind of getting involved in it. But I think he's handled it perfectly. He's not pissing off the guys who are basically paying his wages, and he's not alienating the fans. He's sort of siding with the fans without throwing his entire weight behind it. And I think that's a very sensible position for him to take right now. So yeah, interested to know your thoughts on anything we've discussed in this so far. The final piece of news is the big one, crossing over Stanley Park. The Everton are on the brink of a takeover. £200 million takeover by what appears to be, and I don't know if we can see that, Chevy Chase and dead funny man and former Blues brother, Mr. John Belushi. So there you go. Obviously exciting times ahead for the Blues. Slapstick comedy, cartwheels, singing, perhaps a return of the National Lampoon's movies on the pitch at Goodison Park. Exciting times. If you want to check out more of that stuff, I'm sure Toffee TV will be doing it if you give a shit. But anyway, let us know your thoughts on anything we've discussed on the show in the comments below, please. I'm going to be sat down with Jay McKenna from Spurs of Shankly later on today to discuss, obviously, the ticket protest and what are the next steps and etc. etc. Should be a really interesting one. Aside from that, brilliant content, the final word show. Obviously, West Ham's tonight. We've got build-up content for that's out there, ready and raring to go. And then we're going to be back with the usual raft of post-match content as well on the redmentv.com. So check all that out. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra.
And the reason I was going to do that is so that we can have a two up front with Benteke and Sturridge. Because every Liverpool fan in the world, even passing Liverpool fans, want Daniel Sturridge on the pitch.